Using one payment option? That is not a wise.
I can hear you. Good morning.
A hard copy, cosmetic formulation book. I'd already even thought about the design, I thought about everything. I was already talking to my guys, and somehow I don't know, I think I just stalled. I don't know why I stalled, but I stalled. And in that week, I was on Instagram and I saw a sponsored ad. Someone already did the same thing, and I think she was selling the book for 50K or something, and she was offering free delivery. And honestly, I just took a screenshot and I sent it to my guys, and they were like, you can still do it. You can. I say, yeah, but I'm just trying to let you know that there is no idea that is peculiar to you that you now say this idea. I'm the only person. So what stands you out is execution. And the thing about executing is that just do it. You would never have it all together at the beginning. Like, and there will be no perfect condition. You cannot have 500 million for starters. Well, maybe Ercas is going to give us because I believe them, but there would never be a perfect condition. There will never be a perfect time to start. So what singles you out? What now makes you an entrepreneur is when you execute that idea. And there are various ways to generate ideas. Research never gets old. We are always researching. As a business person, you should always research. Exposure, travel, we meet people. You know that from now. Let me say this again. There was someone I was talking to last year. I can't remember. Funny enough, it was just the idea that he shared with me that stayed with me. Of course, we talked about a lot of other things, but it was the idea that stayed with me. And why I remember that idea was because I was at the Color Money event on Thursday, and someone mentioned it again. And I looked at her. I said, someone shared this idea with me like last year. Now, what is this idea? The person thinks that the Nigerian government should have a home for old people, our aging population in Nigeria. And why did he say that? He said that a lot of us, our generation, we are relocating, we are moving out of the country, and our parents are getting old. It will get to a time that there may be nobody, so to speak, to take care of them. And there are some children that they come home maybe once a year, twice a year, maybe once in 5 years. Now, who takes care of your aging father? Who takes care of your aging mother? And when he said that, I was like, sounds good. And I told him, I said, okay, put it together, your strategy, everything like a pitch, and try to sell it to the government. Because this kind of idea is going to take a lot of money. So it has to be maybe like a corporate body that will take it up. Just set up these old people's homes in different, or start with the major cities. Because our parents are aging, and really, people are living their lives. People are out there making money. And someone else now mentioned it to me on Thursday, and I'm like, you also have this idea, and I'm like, wow. So it just goes to show you that you are not the only person thinking about that thing. So just go ahead and do it. And when you speak to people, like for instance, it was when I had that conversation with this guy that I said, oh, okay, this is a thing, it can work. I'm sure the people that run Uber today, Airbnb, I'm sure it was from, maybe they saw the need, they probably saw the need. Okay, people are coming into the city and maybe they don't want to pay so much, or maybe they want something more private, more cozy. You know that in Airbnb you can invite like 20 people. People can play games, people can shout, but in a hotel, you have to consider, other residents and all of that. So when you share ideas with people now that are forward thinking, when you travel, you just go. Now, traveling doesn't have to be fancy. You can be moving from point A, your city, to another city, and you just look around. There are ideas everywhere. There are ideas everywhere. Then another way is that you can even benchmark bigger companies that, okay, see what this company is doing, but their target market are maybe, for instance, high net worth individuals. You can provide your own solution for maybe market women. You can provide your solution for maybe university undergraduates, or you can provide your solution for maybe core members. So that is how we get ideas. And now that we are in a digital age, some people even bounce ideas of people by sending questionnaires. So they just create a link, Google Forms, and they just share it to like 1,000 people. And some people even get paid doing these things because a couple of people are, they had reached me before to say, okay, do you have, a contact list of 300 people that can fill this for us? They have a contact list of 500 people that can fill this for us. So that is another way, that people kind of get ideas or test, their ideas. So mix with people, always go out, network. Even in fact, that Color Money event that they had on Thursday, I heard, lots of, there was a lady that said, well, she sells cakes and she can do cakes without sugar. That you can pick maybe your ingredient or something. And that's really, really something to say, really? Because when we make cakes today, we'll just pick, okay, we want vanilla, write this name and everything. They really don't give us options. But that lady said she would give you options. So that was the business I did. I'm like, oh, really? I never really, thought about this, that this could be a thing. So when you network, when you speak to people that are forward thinking, ideas will always come. Now, let me share my own journey, how this whole idea started. I think I've shared some images with BC, how this whole idea started and how I'm now making so much money from it. I'm sure people know that the cosmetic industry is a very, 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 very profitable. It's a very, very profitable industry because people will always rub cream. If they don't rub cream with their body, they rub on their hair. People will use lip balm. People will use makeup. People will, especially my gender, 7 steps to glass skin. They have all of those things. And these things are not really cheap. So it is a very, very profitable, venture. But I didn't even know all of this when it was just an idea, for me. So it started for me when I started having my children. I didn't even know it was postpartum hair loss I had at the time because my hair was falling. Like my hair was literally falling off. Like when I take out my protective styles, then I think it was crochet or something. When I take off the crochet and I'm undoing the cornrows, my hair was falling off, and my hair was like cotton wool. It was so light that it was falling off, and I'm like, what is going on here? And apart from the fact that all my hair in front, everything had gone, like it had disappeared. I thought that was the only thing that I was going to deal with. I said, okay, if it's just my edges, we will do something right. But the hair was falling off. So it was as I went on to research, I knew that what I suffered at the time was called postpartum hair loss. And it happens to some women, after childbirth. My first child is a girl. Her hair is all over the place. Like her hair is very full and thick. I didn't know how to manage it. I'd, relaxed her hair. And even the relaxer wasn't working. Like, I'm like, hey, what is this? What should I do? So I went on YouTube, and I started researching. And my skin had gone bad because I'd suffered melasma, those things that happen in pregnancy that you just become ugly. Like you just become ugly. You know, you were a beautiful, glowing girl. You just have your kids and you become very black. And you're like, what's going on? So I didn't like that. I didn't like the state, you know, that my skin was when I had my kids. Then my son had it was serious. So I went on YouTube and I started researching. You know, then YouTube was the thing at the time, 2018. Yes, 2018. People were not really making cosmetics in Nigeria. We all still bought cosmetics from abroad, you know, from UK, from France, from China, South Korea, US, and all of those places. But now it's so beautiful to see that there are a lot of homegrown, you know, cosmetic formulators. So I'd go on YouTube and I'd search, oh, how to care for my daughter's thick hair. You know how YouTube can be. So I searched and I saw some videos by Black Americans, of course. You know, they're the ones that have the type of our hair. So all the videos I saw was from them. And I got some ingredients as listed. And, you know, I started making what I call today my hair butter. And I noticed, okay, these things are working gradually, you know, gradually for our hair. Now, this was in 2018 into 2019. I'd already ditched using the relaxer for hair. I said, look, let's just leave this natural hair, please, because I can't even deal with, you know, relaxing our hair. So I started making my hair butter. Then I was making oils. Then I noticed, okay, the hair is not so bad. I can comb it now. She's not crying, you know, as such, because then she will cry so much. Hey, I'm like, God, what is this? Yeah. So I started doing all of that. But when okay, so from moving from my making stuff for my daughter's hair, I now started making something for my skin. You know, then I would do sugar scrub. Then, of course, the city where I live, black soap is in abundance. Like, black soap is everywhere. Shea butter is everywhere. So I'll go to the market and I would just make stuff. Of course, I went again on YouTube. So I would just mix, okay, one part this, one part this oil. I would mix and everything. I started using it for my skin and all of that. So when I now started doing, when I of course I'd use it for my skin for maybe like a month or something. Then I started doing batch sizes, like sample sizes in small containers. Then I sent it out to people to review, you know, for me and all of that. So when I send it out to them, I sent it to my sisters, I sent it out to friends, I sent it out to people that were not my friends. Maybe I just maybe met them at a business meeting or something here in this town. I just said, because when you want reviews, you should be true to yourself that you want real reviews. You don't just want people gassing you up, saying, fire, you are doing well. No, you want real reviews. So I sent it to different people, you know, different people, and I got my review. So so how was it? How is your skin? How are you this? How are you that? So I started, you know, ask them all those questions. And when they sent in their reviews or their responses, I would screenshot and I would put it on my WhatsApp status. Then people started asking, what is this? What is this thing? I want to, this thing that is working for this person. I want, and everything. I know the way girls can be. So then I started making it too. I would just now run to the market and I would make, you know, just make small batches like that and, you know, send out to people. Then I started charging. You know, I've said this, that if you are not making money while solving that problem, it is just a hobby. So I started charging, small money, 2,500, 1,500, 1,000, like that. That's why I started. That's why I now started. Like I now started this cosmetic formulation. But you know, I told you earlier that we really didn't have cosmetic brands, homegrown cosmetic brands. So I tried to look at what I was doing with some international brands, and I knew that you have a long way to go. I knew that there was a knowledge gap. So I thought, okay, let me register in a proper school, a formulation school. And as luck would have it, I was scrolling on Instagram that day, and I see this sponsored ad again. Somebody was, it was an advert for hair care and skincare formulation. And I think she said maybe it was maybe 50% off or something if you take both courses. Immediately I registered and I got into formulation school. I was in that school from like February 2020 to like maybe 2022. I refused to graduate because it was online, it was self paced. So I just remained in the community because the thing about cosmetics is that there is always something new. Like you never get to that point where you say, okay, this is it. You would always tweak. There are always new ingredients. There are always new skin concerns that you have to now get this ingredient and that. So I was in that school. In fact, our teacher even had to chase some of us. Like she had to forcefully remove some of us from the group because I was actually learning a lot, from there. And that was how my journey, started. So I already got my diploma, I'd already, so because I told you that I was benchmarking other brands, I tried to say, okay, what do I need? Jazz, I need stickers, I need this, and I need all of that. So that was how I started this journey. And today I have shipped to a couple of countries, apart from Nigeria. So from just, okay, my child has this issue, I have this issue. So for me, it wasn't particularly an idea for me because it wasn't something that I sat to say, hey, so what should I do now? I want to transition from makeup artistry. No, it was a need that I had. And trust me, women today still have that need. There are some women that if they see one thing like this, if they see one thing like this on their face, because I get a lot of those things in my DM. Hey, see my face, something, and I'm like, calm down, calm down. It's not as serious as you think. So there would always be that need for cosmetics. There would always be that need for people to look beautiful. We can't. It's something that is just a part of us. There are even men that do skincare. A lot of skincare now more than women because you need to look good. You understand? So cosmetic formulation is not, going anywhere anytime soon. It's something that it is a part of us. Though it has evolved, from what it was in the 1900s and co, but it's better now. And trust me, it has come to stay. Now, I'm going to talk about your finances as a business person. Remember, I said that I am a lawyer, and in law, there's something called legal entity, and a registered business is a legal entity, meaning that entity is recognized under law. And one of the, okay, let me say two of the advantages of a limited liability company is that it can sue and be sued, and it has perpetual succession. So, meaning Lady Okioma can drag Victoria Hair and Skin to court, and Victoria Hair and Skin can drag Lady Okioma to court. So that is what we mean when we say a business is a legal entity, meaning that business is separate from the owner. So it also means that your money has to be separate. Your money has to be separate. At times when I'm doing business with some people and they send me their personal account details, I'm like, I don't know, it just sometimes it just feels somehow to me because some people, especially if you are maybe there are some programs you want to get into, you have to have a registered company, because they say, oh, it makes you look serious, you can access grants. Because if I send money now, if an investor gives me XYZ amount and it enters my personal account, at times you think it's money for shawarma, or you think that it's money for party, or money for what's it called now, just splurging, But because I have that background in law, in fact, I don't even see the money in my corporate account as my money. I don't see the money in my corporate account as my money. No matter how much, how many zeros, figures is there, it is not my money. It is the business money. The only thing I use money from there for is for salaries and to pay my tithes. But you are now because there's no money in your account, you're not gonna buy a shade of 500, or you will now use it. Yeah, I quickly bought fuel for the house. Yeah, there are times that you may be cash strapped, but that is why your books should be up to date. So you know that, okay, I have borrowed money from Victoria Hair and Skin Corporate. I have to return it. Because what you use the money for is not business. It's your personal stuff. It is not business. So always separate your money. Also, I've talked about, when people want to invest in your business, they want to see that this money that they are giving you, you will not use it to eat shawarma. And we see some business people, once they get some sort of funding, the next thing, hey, they bought houses, they are flying first class, they are chilling, they are living the life. Then before you know it, in 5 years' time, the business is nowhere to be found. Because the money in your corporate account is actually for the business. So if you even take out a percentage for investments, you would have to put that money back into the business. You just keep recycling it. You buy raw materials. You do stuff for your business. So the money stays there. And I know that a couple of us are sole proprietors, meaning we are the ones in charge of the money. We are the ones that have the pin or the token code to the business account. But we have to imbibe discipline, so that when we have like an accountant, or when we have a lot more people come to work with us, we've already imbibed that discipline and we can pass it on to them. The truth of the matter is, it is what your staff see you do that they do. If you're always putting your hand inside business money, your accountant too, one day, his wife too would give birth, and maybe that's the day that his bank account is messing up. He will take money now from your own, because that is what you do. And the truth is, you may not even know, because you're not even looking at your books. So he will borrow the money. He may or he may not return it, but he has taken the money, which shouldn't be. It is business money. And again, please, if you don't have a corporate account, I think Ercas is doing that, right? BC, I think Ercas is doing that
Yes,
for
yes, we're
women.
helping
Yes.
people do that.
So please, so when they register their business names, please also push them. BC, drag them. They should go and open, corporate accounts. So you know that Lady Okioma is not Victoria Hair and Skin. Let it always ring. Let it always ring in your head. Because as a sole proprietor, you are the sole signatory to the account. So whether you run the account down or not, you are the only one that knows. But you are not helping the business. One of the lifelines of the business is money. It is money. And that's why people always want a salary. But when we now started doing and everything, and when I don't even meet my target, Victoria Hair and Skin will not ask me. So why are we paying this money this month? What did you do? Did you hit your target? Did you hit your target? Why should we pay you? And things like that. So you have to be accountable and disciplined. A lot of business owners, they are not like some of us. We just got up and we just started doing business, but we don't stretch ourselves. We don't actually teach ourselves. And when we don't know these things, we can't pass it on to people that come to work with us. So your business is a legal entity. Your business is not you. Forget that you are the CEO, you are the alpha, you are the omega, you are everything. That business is not you. Because depending on how you structure your business, when you leave, when you transcend from here, your business should outlive you. So if you run the business down, how will the people, come in, like continue? Because we have businesses that, they've done 100 years. A lot of the big names we know in the world today, their owners have died since. But we wear their brands, we use their products today. So that is, what we call perpetual succession. Apart from being a legal entity. So your business is a legal entity. That money, remove your eye from that money. It is not your personal money. Do you understand? And always make sure you invest. It is not every time that you need to do something for your business that you're asking people. That thing even at times, it puts some people off. Yeah. For instance, asking for maybe 10 million, and the person is asking you, how much do you have? They will ask you those kind of questions. Okay, you are telling me to bring my own 10 million. You, the owner of the business, You the owner of the business. How much have you raised? They ask those kind of questions because they want to know that, okay, you are serious about it. They want to see that this person is serious about it. They are not just going to, take our money and run away. They want to meet you halfway. So that is why you should have your own money, as a business person. You understand? So that investors can take you seriously and everything. So that for what's it called? Your finances. Your business is a legal entity. Your business is not you. Your business is not you. So I've established that already. So we are going to talk about imposter syndrome. BC asked me to talk about this, and I told her that even me that I'm here, I am suffering. I am suffering from it. And he says, yes, yes, exactly. Miriam Balogo, your business is not you. Don't forget. Laide Okioma is not Victoria Hair and Skin. Laide Okioma is not on Laide signature. In fact, I've carried one person to court before, so as my business has carried one person to court before. I did something for them and they didn't pay me. So your business is not you. Please don't ever forget, even if you are the CEO, you're the content creator, you're the one doing all the work, because that is the level where your business is at. Just have it at the back of your mind that your business is not you. Your business is a separate entity, from you. So this year I'd like to talk about imposter syndrome. And I said, me? She said yes now. I said, BC, no, I wish I can talk. She said yes. More reason why, you should be the one, to talk about it and everything. Well, it is not an unfamiliar term. I'm sure it is something that people hear. Maybe some of us are even dealing with it, or some of us, I'm sure we have heard this before, where you just feel like maybe you're not deserving, or maybe you feel like you're not smart enough. That thing happens. It happens to a lot of us, especially in this age of social media, where you just go online and you see somebody that maybe your own business, maybe this March is even your 7th anniversary or your 8th anniversary, and you see somebody that they just started, maybe she just finished NYSC in November last year, and this March is already telling you we've sold 10,000 pieces. We are always sold out. And you're like, hey, yeah, am I doing this thing? Calm down. Calm down. You are doing well. You are doing well. I had to really whine myself, because there are times I'm like, hey, do I really know this thing? Do I really know this thing? Am I really smart? And sometimes we just try to be modest about it, to say, no, don't call me. Who can do this? You are hiding. Like, or maybe you're scared that you don't want people to see you, for what you really are. Maybe you really don't know stuff. And, at times it's valid, because you don't now want your secrets to be out in the open. And I say, she doesn't even know this thing. And yet she's making noise all over the place. Even be coming here to talk, so talking to, because I'm like, because I told Bisi, I said, Bisi, I can talk. She said, yes, you can. I said, okay, Bisi, since you believe in me, then I need to believe in myself, and everything. So, how can you overcome imposter syndrome? You have to believe in yourself. You have to gas yourself up. Now, we call it words of affirmation, positive talk, all of those things. I'm a Christian. I read my Bible, and I believe everything that my Bible says about me. That's one of the ways to overcome imposter syndrome. Because trust me, you're not the only person doing what you're doing. And you're not the smartest person in your field. But there's something that some other people don't know. There's something you have that the world needs. So the moment you start telling yourself things like that, okay, I'm a trailblazer, I'm a problem solver, I'm a pathfinder, I'm a woman, I'm created for such a time as this, you would begin to overcome imposter syndrome. Because you know me women, any small thing like this, we've already recorded this to say this IWD. I'm going to 5 countries. In the morning, I'll be speaking in Ethiopia. In the afternoon, I'll be speaking in France. In the evening, I'll fly into. Calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. Even as you're talking on your webinar, as you're going to that secondary school to talk to young girls, as you're going to that NYSC camp, to speak to core members, as we are talking to maybe a small group in your church. All these things always start from church. Church will just call you, oh yeah, come and talk to these people. Come and you are also doing well. You have something, to give. Then another way to overcome imposter syndrome is to expose yourself. Go out. Go out. Talk to people. Talk to people. There are some things that people come and they say, oh, they struggle with this. And I'm like, this thing is simple. They'll not say, hey, this is what you should be teaching us. I'm like, I beg, I'm not teaching anything. There are a lot of people, teaching all of those things. So that is just me shying away from maybe that gift or that talent. Embrace it. Embrace it. It is God given. Hold your skills. And when there's an opportunity to show it, do so. Then another way to overcome imposter syndrome is by accepting praise. Someone, Jomiloju, what do you mean by what if you can't go out? Jomiloju, why can't you go out? Hey, so if you're an introvert, you won't go out. I'm an introvert too. So you don't go out as a business person. As a business person, please, you have to start going out a bit. What do you mean by what if you can't go out? You go out now. You go for gathering. And you see this thing about being an introvert slash extrovert. Now I digress because I want to speak to what Johnny Loju said. So we are talking about. I'm sorry, I'm making a lot of reference to church and God. That's in my life. So we're talking about what are we talking about this month? Oh God, it has gone off my head. It has gone off my head. But I'm going to come back to it. And there was this day this preacher was talking, and he said, even an introvert, as introverted as you think. Don't know what he said. Yeah, not an introvert is the fun. You can start going to places around you. You can start going to places around you. I know now, I don't know the city where you live. I know that in some cities, it is a lot of work to go out. You battle traffic, you battle Uber money, and all of those things. Can we just leave that aside? I'm sure there are places you can go to that will not cost you so much, because you have something to give you, Jomiloju. Actually, even as introverted as you are, or that I know some people are actually introverts because they are not in the right circle. There are some people that they are introverts because they are not in the right circle. Just put them in the right circle, and they will just switch it off. They become the life of the party. They become. So if you have not found yourself in the right circle, please don't say that you are an introvert. But this person was talking, and he said something like, even an introvert has the ability to influence, did he say 250,000 people or something like that in their lifetime? So being an introvert is not an excuse. There are people on your street, there are people in your immediate environment, that you can reach. Now, I was talking about accepting praise, accepting the accolades. When someone says, oh, that was beautiful, that was awesome, don't say, really? Did I try? Accept it, take it all in. Because you put in the work. Even if you're going to talk to people for like 30 minutes, you took your time, to prepare. So when they tell you, oh, that was amazing, that was awesome, take it all in. Accept praise. For this particular one, don't be modest. You deserve it. And always tell yourself that I am deserving of everything good. I am deserving of everything beautiful. I'm deserving of everything worthy. Those are the ways to don't say like Wala says, Also, like, well, like, you are not an introvert. Just find the right circle. Just find the right circle. So this about it is a lie. People that are introverts, it is a lie. They've not just found the right circle. I like to say that I am an extrovert, but there are circles I go to and I don't say a word. And I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone. Maybe I'm watching something on my phone, or I'm gisting with my fellow extroverts. But there are some circles that you drop me in, and I just, I'm just on a roll. So please find the right circle. Find that circle where you can shine. Yes, Abiola, yes. Some people are telling because there's people that I see them from afar. Then when they now come closer, I'll not say, so why have you been hiding yourself? I don't know. So it might be that you are, you're not in, well, I won't say wrong, but you're not in that. You know that there are some circles that actually gives you wings. There are some circles that makes you alive. As a business person, you should be that circle and you should find that circle. Because running a business in Nigeria is tough. It is already so tough and so very bad. So you really want people that will gas you, people that will say, hey, you are doing well, oh, you are doing well. When I put up this flyer for Ercas, that beautiful flyer they did for me, and I put it up on my WhatsApp. See my community members gassing me up. I'm like, so I'm something like this. So now I'm not saying people that would lie to you, people that would pay you genuine compliments, people that would commend you, that would really commend you to say, oh, you are doing well. That was a very, very, powerful message you gave, or that was a very, very impactful session. Because like I've said again, we all have something to offer. Yes, thank you. I can see that the chat room is buzzing. BC, I think my time is up. 1 hour. I think my time is up. BC, where is BC or topic?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
time is up. Okay, yeah. So we touched on everything, right? Sorry, I need to drink water.
Yes, we have. Thank you so much.
Mm. All right. So questions. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining the call.
Okay,
Yeah.
do we have any questions for Miss Laide? I know she's been. Oh, okay. You can just drop your questions here. It's fine. I know she's been answering some in the chats already.
Thank you, Mutiat. Thank you, Faith. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Okay, so thank you so much, Olaide. This was definitely an amazing session. So you see now that when I said you can do this, I wasn't wrong. See what you've done. Oh, we have questions. Wow. Okay, first question. How do you reward yourself despite the fact you're investing in your business?
What do you mean? What do you mean by reward? Are you using reward in place of salary?
Like in place of how do you know when sometimes you can splurge? Like how do you now tell yourself, okay, well done, even if you want to invest in your business?
So what I do is definitely what I definitely invest in my business is way more than what I spend on splurging. There are some things that I like. There are some things that are guilty pleasures for me. Like makeup, for instance. I can't see makeup and look the other way. I can't. So there are times that, and of course it depends on how much it costs. If for instance I buy myself because I'm seeing makeup in Nigeria now, 100K and everything. I'll not buy one something 100K. You don't splurge every month. You don't splurge every time. You're an adult. You should have a limit. Now your reward can be, I don't know, something very small. It doesn't have to be, anything big. Now it depends on how much you make. Oh, please, I don't want to assume everybody here is a small business. There are people that they'll say, oh, in a month we have like 10 million naira profit. Please, if your profit is up to that, then you can now decide what will be a reward for you. Now, this is personal, but whatever it is, and some people actually reward themselves with brand new cars. Please, if your business is at that level, please go ahead and enjoy, because that car is going to serve you. Even though it is a liability, that car is gonna serve you. you know. So it depends on that level where you are. And you see some people saying, because I belong to a couple of business communities, some people even reward themselves with as little as a cup of parfait, 5K. Some people reward themselves with spa session, like, I've tried this quarter, I've tried. Let me go to Bloom Wellness and just get a massage. So it depends on what reward is, to you. Nobody now, and again, it depends on what you make, monthly. So your reward should not now like be more than what you invest or what you put back in your
Okay.
business.
Thank you so much. So, second question. Um, I've heard about the advantages of a corporate account, but what are the disadvantages as well?
Oh, what are the disadvantages? Hey, what are there really disadvantages of owning a corporate account in Nigeria? Yes, of course. Now there will be disadvantages. So all of that COT. Now, I talked about it from the legal aspect too. It is your banker that will be able to tell you what it's not really disadvantages, but you know how, and of course you're expected to pay tax now. You're expected to pay tax. Remember when last year this lady's movie, and she put out I think 1 billion or something. 1 billion, we made 1 billion and everything. It was what is it called? FRS. They commented. They said we are expecting you in our office. Well, you may see that as one of the disadvantages, but you have to pay your tax, because that is what the
Okay.
government is running everything, making our lives more beautiful, in quotes. So
Okay.
there are really no, there are talking about disadvantages, no, there are really no, of course, except of all those things, charges and all of that. But that is what you should also factor that into your costing. For instance, my bank does, is it 53 naira? Then there's this other bank that does 26 naira, 88 kobo. So those are all those things. I factor them into everything. That's why when you see some people put out courses and you see things like 37,250, 37,750, and some people want to be smart, they'll pay 37, they'll tell you go back and pay that 750. So that person has included bank charges, has included everything. So all those things should be part of your cost. So at the end of the day, you're not the one bearing the brunt, of that. So there were those
All right.
disadvantages, yes, so to speak.
Okay, thank you. So, for that question, I'm sure our second speaker would also be able to give some more insight on that. The next question is, my cosmetics business was growing and doing well in my previous place of residence, but in late 2023, I relocated to a different state altogether, and I've been struggling to start up again because I've lost my customers and where I'm well known for my business. Please, what do I do?
Okay, Chinechere, first, I believe that you have a digital presence, because the world has gone global now. Distance is no longer a barrier. Distance is no longer a barrier. In my 6 years of existence, I've shipped products to Luxembourg, I've shipped to Doha, South Africa, Canada, UK, and US. I have some customers that have left Nigeria and they still buy from me. I don't think your location, except you had a physical store in your former state of residence and people were walking in. Now, that is one of the things a business owner should have. You should be able to adapt quickly. Because Nigeria has 36 states. I don't believe anybody should be born, bred, buttered, live, and die in one state. For instance, if you are married, it was work that carried my husband to this city where I am today. I've not always been here. And I didn't allow that set me back. So it is one of the the characteristics of an entrepreneur, you should be able to adapt. You should be able to change your business strategies. Like my mentor will say, when everything changes, when the facts change, you change your mind. You don't have to stick to it to say this is how it should go. You should be flexible in your business approach, in how you do things. Now you are in a new city. The first thing you even want to do is you set up your online store. If you don't have that already, you should set it up. That should be your call to action from this our engagement. You set up your online store and you can even run ads, pointing people to that. And I believe that on your page, you have social proof. Do you understand? You should have reviews on your website or on your business page. At the end of the day, people pay for value. What my logistics partner was charging in 2020 is not what they are charging now. There are times that I'm even afraid to even give my customers invoice because the shipping is crazy. But some of them will say, please, I beg, give me my invoice, I beg. Your cream is working for me. I beg, I beg, I beg. So I don't think changing your, what's it called, should really, really be a problem. It should be something, because cosmetic is something people use all over the world. So you set up, so your call to action from here is, if you did not have a digital presence before this engagement, go ahead now and set up your store online and run ads. Let people know. Put out your work. Put yourself out there. Let people see. Let people in this your new location have a feel of you. Have a feel of your offerings. It's not only the people where you're coming from that should enjoy your services. People here too should enjoy, your services or whatever it is that you have to offer. So I don't think what's it called? Moving, should be a problem. Because it's a global world. You don't know who would see your store online and they will mention you in a room and next thing they're saying, okay, please send us 500 pieces of maybe hand cream or something. You just get logistics and you ship it to them. So I honestly don't think this is a problem. You have to be flexible. Adaptability at the
Yeah.
business. Is it the way Nigeria is? You'll not say that you are facing one thing. But if the government does like this, you change your mind. You change your mind and you keep it moving. So that's it about that.
All right. Thank you so much. So there are so many other questions, but we've spent a lot of time, which is our bad, and we don't want to delay the next speaker. So we're going to take the remaining questions at the
Okay.
end of the second speaker session. Thank you so much, Lady.
Thank
Really
you so
appreciate
much,
this.
DC.
Yeah. Before I hand the mic back over to our anchor, um, intermission people, this webinar was proudly brought to you by Ercas. Ercas is a payment service provider that allows you to receive payments in 9 different currencies globally. You can receive payments in US dollars, Canadian dollars, British pounds, euros, dirhams, Ghana cedis, Gambian dalasi, Kenyan shillings, and Nigerian naira. Better still,
Amazing.
Ercas allows you to collect your payment in USD if you have a domiciliary account, which is why we keep saying set up your business so you can get a proper business account and a domiciliary account.
Yeah.
And then if you don't have that, we just settle you the naira equivalent in your naira account. Now, why we encourage people to do this is because as a business owner, you want to ensure that you are not caught unawares. You want to ensure that when opportunity comes, you are ready. So imagine if you have a customer in Gambia that says, "Oh, would you supply me so and so?" It's always easy if you don't have to put them through the stress of, "Oh, I can do this, but the payment and whatnot is going to be an issue." You want to always be ready. You want to always be ready for circumstances, unforeseen or foreseen, right? So our job is to make sure that as business owners you can build your business locally and scale globally, so you can meet your customers where they are at their convenience. That is our sole purpose, and we want to ensure that every Nigerian business, big or small, is able to compete on a global landscape, right? Which is why we have made it so easy. And we've gone further because if you're registering your if you want to onboard on Ercas, we help you register your business so that you're taken seriously by your customers. You have your business name, you have your documents, you're not being hindered in any way, right? We have made it so seamless. And yes, while 50 people will be winning free business registration, for those who do not get that opportunity, we also want you to know that we're going to be doing your business registration for you at a highly discounted rate. I know that the going rate on the market now is about 30 to 50,000, but we're going to do it for anybody that is interested over the next 3 months for just 19,000 naira. So we are still trying to ensure that, I'm telling you, I'm shocked. So we're still trying to make sure that at all times the businesses that partner with us, the communities that we're building, have everything they need to scale, to grow and scale, right? So yes, this webinar was probably brought to you by Ercas. Towards the end of the webinar, we'll be dropping a link to our community, and we hope that you will join the community. The community is going to be a space for hand holding, where we're telling you, we're not just saying, oh, you can do this, or we're not just preaching, okay, this is how to run your business. We're hand holding you and giving you resources and tips that would help you run your business efficiently, right? So thank you, everyone. I'm going to be handing over the mic to our anchor and our man supporting women today, Tope Olabisi.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Pardon that I'm sounding like a siren. I mean, I've had a very great and awesome time today. I have learned a whole lot. And like I said at the beginning of this, the whole intent of, you know, being here for me, I count it a privilege, is that I'm able to learn all of this, right? And I'm sure, I mean, from the interactions that we're learning a whole lot as well, right? Very quickly, not to waste our time, I just want to quickly touch on something. I'm glad that I'm not the only one suffering from what's it called now, imposter syndrome. I'm glad that someone like our speaker, can also say that, it's a general thing. Yeah. And I remember we are having, if you're following us on social media, you know this already. We were having a conversation on our podcast. The full version of the podcast will drop very soon, during the course of the week. And if you're not following us, this is a good time to do that anyway. Just go to Ercas_HQ on Instagram. You see the video I'm talking about. Yeah. We're talking about something similar to this, about how I personally got into business sometime some years ago, and I feel that and while she was talking about the whole imposter syndrome thing, one of the things that occurred to me is that one thing that brings about this syndrome is also the fact that we have failed in the past. And anyway, like she said, don't let that deter you. You must always learn to pick yourself back up. You must always learn to come back and bounce back. And that is the whole point of life. That is the whole point of doing business. Like they would say, it is never a smooth journey. Without any further ado, I'd like to move on to our next session in this gathering, and is to bring up our next speaker for today. I'm going to read her profile. Like I told you, it's a it's a it is meant to be a great time. Yeah, a time of resourcing you, a time of giving the necessary things, information, value, money, and all of those things that would help you scale your business, that will help you be better at what you do. I should say that this is not going to be a one-off thing. this webinar. It is something we'll do from time to time. And so this is not the first and last. You can expect more will come. And having said that, I'm going to read her profile very quickly and she's going to take over from here. Muyosore Odeniyi is an assurance, risk, and compliance professional with over 25 years experience in related capacities across industries and consulting. She has led various teams, including the audit and risk management teams of Noima Holdco Limited, a role she transitioned to from being head assurance and strategy at Midwestern Oil and Gas Company Limited, where she set up the internal audit function of the company in the year 2012, and subsequently the risk management and corporate strategy functions. Prior to joining Midwestern, Muyosore was a member of the Risk Assurance Services Group of the firm PricewaterhouseCoopers Nigeria, PwC, where she served for over 6 years. At PwC, she led teams to deliver tailored solutions to various clients towards business controls improvements, quality assurance, compliance with regulations, including Sarbanes-Oxley, and internal procedures, risk management, information technology, general controls validation, ISO certification, and investigations. She currently leads the internal audit team at Capital Sage Holdings, a conglomerate with diversified business across the globe. Muyosore holds a BSc degree in geography from the University of Lagos. She's an alumna of the University of London, Lagos Business School, prestigious Harvard Business School, and Swiss Business School, a fellow of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, FCCA, a certified auditor, CIA, a certified information system auditor, CISA, a certified fraud examiner, CFA, certified in risk management assurance, CRMA, a certified GRC professional, GRCP, chartered risk manager, CRM, and a fellow of the Association of Enterprise Risk Management Professionals, FERP. Muyosore holds a doctorate degree from the Swiss Business School and currently serves on the board of the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA, Nigeria. Dr. Muyosore Odeniyi, Ercas welcomes you to the Ercas IWD Female Entrepreneurs webinar. We're so great and so proud and privileged to have you on board today, Ma. Thank you.
Thank you, Tosin, and good afternoon, ladies. I'm really glad that I'm here because I'm also a stakeholder in Ercas's business, as Tosin has introduced. I trust that we're going to have a very value-added session this afternoon. And good afternoon to the gentlemen in our midst. I'm sure I've seen some names. I believe there are some men who are hoping to, get one or two things from this session. Thank you, Bilkisu. Okay, so I'm audible. Thank you. Thank you. I'll share my screen very quickly. And while I do that, I'd like to say thank you to Laide as well for setting the tone for this session, which we're about to commence. It's good to see that women are doing great things, despite all the challenges that face businesses in Nigeria. Tosin, can you confirm that you can see my screen, please? I just shared my screen.
Yes, Ma, very clearly. I can see your screen.
Okay. All right, thank you. So this afternoon, very quickly, I've been told I have 40 minutes inclusive of Q&A. We would be talking the engine room of our country, Nigeria. It's been established as a fact, and we have the statistics to prove it. We'll just look into some definitions very quickly. When we say small businesses or small enterprises, what exactly are we talking about? If we draw from, Laide's story, it's independently owned. So it's not, a big corporate like we have some of them here. Independently owned, the owner focuses on that business because, it's small. It's your primary business. And then, of course, because it's small, one of the characteristics is a small number or limited number of employees. And of course, that also speaks to the revenue on an annual basis of these businesses. Here, I remember Lide talked about moving globally, but when we talk small businesses, firstly, you're focusing on the local market, testing the waters, and hopefully by the time we finish this session, a number of us would, if we have not done that already, will be ready to move, into the global markets as well. It's managed by individuals, and most times you find this kind of businesses in the family setup, where members of a family are pooling their internal strengths and their resources together to run that business, or a small group of people. They may not be related, colleagues, friends, and what have you. And then because of the scale of this business, because it's small in size, they haven't gained that dominance, yet in the market or in the industry. That's a quick definition, of what a small business is. Now, when we talk about growing and scaling of a business, what exactly do we mean? Interestingly, these two terms are used interchangeably, but there's a slight difference between growing a business and scaling a business. When you're talking about growing a business, I have a contract. Maybe my revenue was, say, 1 million per month, for example, and then I begin to get new customers. It increases my revenue to, say, 2 million. That way you're growing your business because your output has increased, your income or your revenue has also increased. But when we now put it to scaling, what exactly are we talking about? Scaling involves increase in output or revenue. However, remember that the income that you're getting or the revenue you're getting is based off on some inputs into the business, resources which you have utilized in producing either those goods or products or services. Scaling refers to increase in output or revenue without necessarily increasing the resources which you have utilized in growing your revenue. So what that means is that you have an increase in revenue, your output is increasing, but your production cost does not necessarily have to increase. Or in some cases, that is an ideal situation. In some cases, even where your production cost increases, it is at a rate that is lower, much lower than the increase in your revenue or your output. Okay, that way, for those of us who, are already in business, it's easy to tell that way your margins definitely increase because you're producing much more based off, the same production cost that you have been doing, or just an incremental, a slight increment in your production cost. What does it also entail? You're setting in place proper processes and systems needed to support a seamless growth of your business. That is what this is speaking to. Drawing off from, the definition of scaling, it also speaks to efficiency. It means that you have to run your business more efficiently, and then you optimize on your costs. How do you ensure that your costs are used in the best way possible to yield, the greatest output that you can from your businesses? And of course, for you to do all of this, you need to plan. We'll talk about planning subsequently in this session. It requires a lot of thought and plan, So those are two definitions that we have from the topic which we're discussing this afternoon. And then just to give some background, which is why Ercas has also decided to support in this space. I already mentioned that small and medium enterprises in Nigeria are the engine room of the economy. How so? If we look at contribution to employment, this space accounts for about 82% of our employment today in Nigeria. If we look at the economy, the SMEs contribute about 48% to our national GDP, which is very huge, 48%. And then employment, in fact, if you take the businesses, you find out about 95% of them are SMEs in Nigeria today. Despite the importance of small businesses to our economy, It's interesting to know that the success rate of businesses within the first year is less than 50%. Less than 50% within year one. And then in the first 2 years is about 20%. And then by the time you take a view of businesses that have been in existence, 5 years of operation, you find out that the success rate is just about 5%. And then you begin to wonder why. I mean, a lot of us are into small businesses, so we know we're already abreast of the kind of challenges that we face in Nigeria today. One has to do with access to funds. How do you get funds to scale up your business, to grow your business, increase your throughput and all of that. We know what inflation is saying today. The high cost of capital, of course, is part of it. The high cost of operations, infrastructure deficit. I was at the salon yesterday. Interestingly, this is, relatively in Lekki, a big salon. I went in to make my hair. And then I saw that the power supply, it's been very unstable the past 2 weeks. You would not believe that we had to move from that salon to another one to finish up my hair, to get access to power, dry my hair, and all of that. Infrastructure deficit is a reality today in Nigeria. The same way it's hitting the large corporates is also hitting, the small businesses. You need to run your generating set because you can't get power from the grid. That, of course, has its cost implications. Beyond that, business development, most times you find when people want to even venture into a business, you're beginning to wonder, there are a lot of people already in this market. How do I find my way in? How do you begin to acquire your own customers? And when you acquire those customers, how do you retain your customers? Because it's also very important for your growth process. When you get customers, it's expected that you service them such that you're able to add on to their experience. Once they see the value they're getting and you're impacting on them, it's expected that your customer base would grow and that you will not lose the ones that you already have. And then, of course, for small businesses, there's a survey that went out and there seems to be a lack of demand for some of the products and services offered by small businesses. What does that mean? When I saw this element in that survey, it just told me that, look, it simply means that before you veer into a venture, you need to think, and think again if that is where, that you should be playing in that space. We shouldn't just, I think Lide was the person who mentioned copycatting. Don't be a copycat. Don't do things just because everybody is doing it. Oh, water seems to be moving. A lot of people are, bagging water, selling pure water. Oh, you move into it. No. Like I said, scaling it's a strategic and very thoughtful process. So you need to think about it. The best way to be sure that your products or services will sell is to ensure that you're able to identify a need and meet it. So there has to be a need that you're trying to meet. And even if it seems like the market is being saturated, then you need to try to carve a niche for yourself. So those are some of the challenges facing the small businesses in Nigeria today. This is just, what we'll be talking through because we're delving right into how we can then grow and scale our small businesses. We're going to talk about the customers and the market. You need to understand them. What exactly do you need to do? I touched on planning earlier on. Your planning shouldn't just be immediate. For the long term, in what direction is the economy moving? What are the trends? How do you leverage that information to ensure that you're in business, not just for today, but also for the future? And then brand awareness as well. We'll touch on that. We're going to talk about teams, I know it's small businesses, but when you need to employ, what do you need to look out for to ensure you have a diverse team? Financial acumen, very, very, very key. Lide had talked about sometimes splurging, but her money is different from that of the business. So how do we ensure, that financially we're well placed to grow and scale up our businesses? And then your customer experience, very key. The customer is king, You're servicing the customer. You must ensure that you're meeting their needs. And then watch your competitors. We'll run through all of this right away. So on understanding your market and your customer, Like I said earlier, do not go into a business venture just because others are doing it and they seem to be doing well. Take a pause and look into that market. Who are their customers? What are the peculiarities of that market? Such that if you then eventually decide to venture into it, you are armed with information as to what you should be doing. This also speaks to market research. What is the market like? What are the peculiarities of that market? Even within the market, you could carve out a niche for yourself and have a target market. I joined the session, was it yesterday or Thursday as well? And what Lide said also resonated with me about the lady who said she could make sugar-free cakes. And I just thought there are a lot of people who are managing their health, they love to eat cake, but they haven't been able to do so, probably because of the sugar content. They are also being health conscious. So are there ways that you can, craft your own product or your services to meet a particular target market? What is the feedback from the market? What are people saying, about that space? You need to conduct a market research. What do the customers want? Shape your product and services in line with their wants. Remember, I believe most of us here we're here for profit making. You're not just into a venture for the sake of it. That way you can tailor your products, your services, and even your marketing campaigns, to that target, to what people want. And then, of course, your products or your services will be tailored to their needs. I've talked about the market trends already. A lot is happening around us, a whole lot. Things have shifted. COVID came, there's been a shift, social media, a lot of things are happening in that space. So how can you key into these trends, even relating to the specific market that you want to go into? How can you differentiate your product? I remember, if we remember, some 7 years ago, you wouldn't walk into a supermarket and find things like beans, egusi sitting on shelves. People have gone ahead to add value, differentiate their products, and guess what? They're making money. People are making a lot of money because things have changed. Things have changed. Carve a niche for yourself. Be known for something. That should be your plan and your strategy. There might be a lot of people in the market, but there must be something peculiar, about the products or the services that you're putting out there. And then I talked about identifying the wants of customers already. You must fill a gap. Otherwise, you end up producing and they're just lying there. There must be a need that you plan to meet. Some of the courses I've attended, on entrepreneurship, on business planning, one of the first key steps that we have been advised on is to say, firstly, get your market. Get your market. Who do you want to sell to? And that's why you find out we have a lot of businesses that have grown from, I know a number of boutique owners who have grown from selling the clothing in their cars. They come to market to you, one, personally, one after the other. And that way they were able to build the market to get their customers, That way they could backward integrate and begin to see that, okay, there's actually a market for this thing that I'm doing. And then I can step back and begin, get a store, get a warehouse. We still have a lot of ventures that their presence is strictly online. So you have to order and then they deliver. I remember when Instagram as a marketplace started, a lot of us were skeptical about buying. Would we be scammed and all of that? But some of us, took courage. From the first attempt, we began to build confidence in that system, and a lot of them have remained there, and they're doing a lot of things, making a lot of money just from social media presence, and they've built their businesses. Lide had talked about online presence. Times have changed. The honest truth is, any business that really wants to survive in the future cannot just rely on the brick and mortar. It is what it is. You also need to have your presence out there, in the faces of people. There are a lot of marketplaces that are not brick and mortar. And then here we're saying segment your target market so that you can meet the needs of differing customers. I am baking cake. How sweet do you want it? I'm giving you options, and then I can tailor my services or products to meet your specific needs. So segment your target market. Who exactly do you want to service? You need to identify, and you don't give me exactly what I want. The likelihood that I would come again might be very low, especially if I know of somebody else who can give me exactly what I want. And that way you're able to build your customer experience. For the second one, we're saying plan for the long term. Tosi or BC had mentioned that after this, you'd have access to some templates on the website. The link will be dropped for you. You need to have a business plan. I know a lot of us, just what we have is very skeletal, but this is very, very, very important. As a business, can you currently say that you know the state of your business, how you're doing? Can you run projections, on forecasts? Is your business seasonal? Do you have a plan for 2025 that says, oh, by Q1, this is how much I would have made. In the month of April, business might be a bit slow, but by May, it would have picked up, June, and all of that. It helps prepare you. And then when we're talking about scaling your business, it simply means that you have a baseline to start with. And financially, you must be prepared for that. Okay, what are your growth objectives? Do you have a revenue target for this year? What is that target? What do you hope to achieve? Have you set out what you would need to achieve that revenue target? Of course, the revenue is on the back of whatever products or services that you're delivering. If you had a revenue of 30 million last year and you need to move it to 60 million this year, it simply means that you're willing to tweak one or two things, within your business to ensure that you achieve that target. And it becomes clear the things that you need to do. And then periodically, of course, you need to also assess yourself to see how well you're doing relative to that plan. What is your production capacity? What was it last year? If you want to double this year, depending on the nature of your business, I'm still going to talk about that subsequently. Are there certain things that you need to do, which might, in this case, result in maybe a slight increase in your costs for you to maybe double your production capacity? What is your supply chain like? At this point, I will touch on diversification too. Who are those who provide inputs into your process, into your products and your services? Are you over relying on any, vendor or supplier? That comes with its own risk, So those are things that you need to look into. And then for your customers, how do you support them to ensure? Remember, I said earlier that you should be able to retain your existing customers, and then the plan is then to add on to that customer base. Customer support. How do you support your customers? For a lot of customers, a lot of people like personalized service, depending on the nature of the business. Beyond personalized service, after sales support, if they need to engage, do you have a structure around that to ensure that you're able to scale your business successfully? In addition, customer feedback. How do you get feedback from your customers? You've delivered a service or a product. Do you get feedback on what the customer experience has been like? That's very, very important. Even if you're not deploying a tool, if it's a personalized service, you could ask, and it gives you an idea, if there are things that you need to tweak to ensure that you meet your plan or your target for the year. Okay? That way you can also build your customer loyalty. Here we're talking brand awareness. Earlier on, I've talked about carving a niche for yourself. How do you want to be seen in the marketplace? What is your marketing strategy? How are you marketing your products, the services that you're delivering? The advisory here is that you need to include social media in your marketing. If anyone had told me, I used to be very conservative, but honestly today, if I need something very quickly, I can assure you that beyond Google, the next place I will go to is Instagram. And I'm very, very likely to find it. What kind of content do you want to go into your marketing, even on social media, so that you have the kind of visibility that you want to attract new customers as well? These are things that you can't run away from technology at this stage. The world, like I said, has evolved. So technology is very key in building your brand awareness. You don't need to break the bank. You should look into ways, partnerships. Even on Instagram, you have some people's pages who are sponsored, that kind of thing. Influencer marketing. Please don't break the bank. Remember that you're scaling up your small businesses, and we're hoping that we will go global, on our various businesses. And then the community where you're located, the community that you service, how do you engage them? It's also very important, If you build it from the community, and here I'm going to talk about referral. So many times when we take a decision on who to buy from, it's from referrals, someone who has told you their experience with a particular vendor, a particular product, or a particular service, gives you a referral. You hear from one to a lot of decisions we make are based on referrals. Even when you go onto social media and you're trying to determine or decide whether to buy from one person or the other, you're looking at reviews, to see, what other people's experiences has been like. Engagement, so that's also very key. Like I said already, you already acquired customers. Loyalty, they're a very good marketing tool for you. So whatever you're doing, if there are any changes, if there's any improvement, make sure that you keep them in the loop. Make sure they're aware of what you're doing, news about your business, about your promotions that you're running. I mean, I know some of my friends who call me to say, oh, so and so is running a promo. It's like a reminder, and you can be sure that that would also drive your business. So your brand awareness, please, key take homes. You need to have a marketing strategy. How exactly do you want to be visible? Include social media. You don't need to break the bank. Think of partnerships, influencer marketing, engage your community. And remember that your customers, your existing customers are a very great marketing tool for you. Update them with what you're doing around the business. And of course, words of referral would get you new customers. I touched on the team previously. We're talking small businesses. So the truth is that as you scale up, for example, if you had been running the business as a one-man show, you might have seen the need to add on one or two additional hands. What then do you need to do? You need to hire. In hiring, what exactly are you looking for? Remember the definition for scaling a business. You're increasing your output, that's your products or services, increasing your revenue, but ideally you're keeping your costs, static, or if possible, reduced. Here we're talking cost optimization, ensuring that whatever cost or input you put into your process yield the best possible volumes or value or product or revenue for you. So how does that impact on the team that you want to hire? You need to hire strategically. For example, there are some businesses where one person might have multiple skills, so you don't have to hire somebody for every specific role. Why? Because you're a small business. So look for individuals with the right skills and expertise to support your growth strategy and to support your scaling up. Make sure you look for individuals, the right people who can assist your growth trajectory. And then within that, your small business, let there be a collaborative culture. Everybody understands the objectives of the business, So even when one part seems to be missing, somebody can quickly step in, to address whatever issue there is. There must be collaboration within the business. Otherwise, there's a popular saying that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Typically, just look at a business that is supposed to have a call center. The main work is behind, but that call center is like the face of the organization. That's the first person. If a prospective client or an existing customer calls, that is the first point of contact. And then the treatment that person receives at that point, is not favorable. I can assure you that that person will probably not continue, will not proceed with that prospective business. So there has to be, everyone needs to understand what the business is about, what you are trying to achieve. Even if it's a two-man team, you Let everyone be on the same page. Collaboration. And then now to us as business owners, we also need to develop strong managerial skills for us to lead the teams. We need to upskill. We need to improve on our competencies. I've had instances where I've told business owners that, look, you need a finance for non-finance training, for example. You can't own a business and say because you're not an accountant, you do not understand the numbers coming from the business. No, you need to be personally involved. You need to understand what is happening in there. So improve on your managerial skills. You know, manage the team effectively even as it is growing, and then motivate the team as well. This speaks to the diversity of the team. Ensure that even as you're hiring, you're bringing in the right people, and then you as the lead are also leading them, and your leadership, your skills are effective, so you can get the results that you desire. Now to this very important aspect as well, financial acumen. Lide had talked about the money for the business being for the business. I know a lot of us, there are a lot of indices, you know, to manage, to measure how well a business is doing. Revenue is one of them. Profits is one of them. But you see this cash flow that we have here, it speaks to liquidity. No matter how profitable your business is, if you're unable to meet the running costs of your business, you're going to run into a very huge problem, especially for small businesses. You're going to run into a lot of problems. I talked earlier about planning. So understand your cash flow. Within that plan, what revenue am I expecting and when am I expecting it? What are the likely sources of that revenue, which customers and all of that? On the expense side as well, what are the costs that you need to meet from time to time? If you have not been keeping a ledger, please, Excel, you need to keep something so that you can properly plan your cash flow. At the point where you even now want to scale up, it is your cash, you know, that will speak for you. It's your cash. Anyone, depending on how you now want to secure your funding, whether it is through, you know, equity or through debt, people want to see how well that business is doing. And it's the numbers that will speak. So you need to have a ledger, plan your cash flow, and to ensure that you have sufficient cash to run the business, your daily operations, so you don't stall your operations. Okay. And then, of course, investment in initiatives, whatever you're doing. Remember, I said plan long term, must not just be for now. Think 2 years from now, 4, 5 years from now, you know, will this investment benefit my business? And that's why we talked earlier about watching the trends in the market. What is the economy saying? You know, who are the players in this field? What are they doing? You know, we must break out of our cocoon, you know, if we're going to scale up our businesses and understand what is happening next door, because it might as well impact on your business that you're running. And then for effective risk management, depending on the nature of your business, diversification is also important. Are there products that are complementary to yours? Are there new markets, you know, that you could look into? Are there certain partnerships that you could go into? There are a number of businesses that have sort of scaled up through mergers, partnerships of some sort, you know, because there's something that for the accountants among us, we talk about the balance sheet. There's something that it does for you. For example, if you're so small that it's difficult, you know, for you to get a loan in the kind of amount that you need, you could team up with somebody else who, you know, is maybe into that business, partner with the person to be able to achieve, you know, your strategic objectives. You could look into new markets. What else is happening that's ancillary to what I'm currently doing? And that way you can diversify your streams of income. Even for salary earners now, is the reason some of us have experiences in small business. Everyone is looking to get an additional stream of income. Everyone, you know, you're consulting here and there, you're going into, you know, agri-business, you're doing different things, you know, to diversify your streams of income. That way, God forbid, even if something happens with a particular stream of income, you can easily, it doesn't shake you so badly because you have a backup. You have a contingency plan. And then, of course, how do you secure funding for growth? It could be your personal funds. Perhaps you have saved for so long, you have sufficient savings, you can utilize that. Okay. You could also be looking to attract investors. Like I said, it simply means that you need to have your numbers right. The investors, even where you want to qualify for a grant, they want to be sure that you have a plan that is very, very realistic. They are looking at the numbers to see how viable, not just the businesses now, but also for the future. And that way you can attract investors. And then loans, of course. Um, the typical businessman will tell you that debt is good. The honest truth is that to achieve certain things, you might need to get a loan. But then you also need to do the math. So at what rates, are the interest going to be paid back? What's the frequency or periodicity of the payback? At the end of the day, you must be able to justify whatever you're paying back. I mean, in terms of the loan and the principal and the interest, it must be justified by the revenue that will come in as a result of those loans. So it's very good for you to have financial acumen when you're going into these things, both for now and the immediate future or the far future. Improve customer experience. I mean, customers have a lot of expectations. And like I said, the customer is always right. It's a very popular adage. Ensure that you give your customers a memorable service. That way, you build loyalty and they want to stick with you. I talked about feedback previously. Ensure you get feedback. Let your team get feedback. If you're sending them out to the field, if you're going yourself, get feedback. That way that feedback can feed your processes, towards achieving your objectives. Be consistent but agile. So even when we're talking about your process, the customer experience, be consistent so that the only time you need to tweak is where you get a feedback and then you need to improve on your processes. But be consistent. Customers want a very great experience and they want it to be consistent. Times are changing. So like I said earlier, we've talked about technology. You need to leverage technology. Leverage technology depending on where your business is at. We have some freeware, there's some tools that could help you. You could do that to improve on your products and services. Be aware of policy regulations, taxation, and all of that. Embrace innovation. Come out of your cocoon. The world is a very large place, and I strongly believe that there's enough room for everyone. When something new is happening, pay attention and see if there is value to it, so that you're not a late adapter of that innovation. The early adapters usually, they clean out most of the time. So if there's something innovative coming up within your space, pay attention to it. I'd already talked about technology in improving your customer experience. Very, very key. For those of us who can get a tool just to help you, if your business is such that you have such a large number of customers, there's some free customer relation management tools, that you can use. You could start with that. And then finally, watch your competitors. What are they doing? Remember, I talked about the market seeming saturated, but we have people in those markets who are still making a kill. They're making a lot of money. What exactly are they doing? If you want to ensure that you remain in that business, you must be able to I talked about market research. What's the competition doing? How can you also position yourself to be competitive in that space? What are their strengths and their weaknesses? What are yours? How can you hone or leverage your strengths, to your advantage? If your competition has weaknesses, how can you also use that to your advantage? Because those weaknesses that they have also present an opportunity for you. There might be a gap that they are not filling. Can you fill that gap in growing your business? So you must watch the competition. If you want to remain relevant, and part of the success statistics. You must watch what is happening in that space. You can't just be running your business and not know. It won't work. It won't work. Exploit their weaknesses to your advantage. Identify the opportunities in that market. Identify the target market and the customers, and then see how you can make the best of it. And then, of course, grow your network. There are other people in the same business with you. Are there such alliances that you can form? They are industry experts. Are you leveraging off their wealth of, knowledge and their wisdom, to better your business? You could also consider strategic partnerships with businesses that complement your products and services. I talked about this earlier. And then the competition may be stiff, but there's room for everybody. Trust me, there's sufficient room for everybody. You just need to get it right. And then you'd also make your own space, create your own space in that market, however competitive it is. I believe this is the final slide. So we're talking about scaling, growing, and scaling. So you need to ask yourself some questions, because scaling, it's not as easy as we think it is. Like I said, it requires strategic planning and some thought to it. You need to ask yourself the following questions, so you know whether it is the right time to scale your business. The first has to do with your customer base. Do you have sufficient demand for your products or services? If the answer is yes, you're probably ready. It simply means that if you scale up, you'll be able to, there are people to offtake your products and services. You don't want to produce and then they're just sitting on the shelf, on and all of that. Are there new market products or services that align with your business goals? We've listened to a lot of entrepreneurs and their stories and their journey. If you are abreast of what is happening in the market, there are lots of opportunities, a lot out there. Which of them complement what you're currently doing? That way you can carve a niche for yourself. Perhaps people, even the big players in that market, have not paid attention to that gap. And that way, once it's in alignment with what you're doing and your goals, you can swing in there, and scale up your business. What is your business model? What are your profit margins? How profitable are you currently? If someone else wanted to invest in your business, would they find it attractive? That is what point number 3 is saying. So if your answer is a yes, okay, you're ready to scale up. Have you considered the current trends that can impact on customer expectations? The truth is that the customers want the best, but their needs also are constantly evolving. Okay, so what this speaks to agility as well. Consider the current trends. Do they impact on customer expectation? As at yesterday, we wanted the dress tailored this way, with the sleeves in this direction, but going by the trend today, we want the style different, even though both of them are elegant. Prepare yourself, so when the customer comes with a different need, a differing need, are you agile enough to fill that gap and meet that need? And in summary here, we're saying that even though scaling a small business is a lot of work, but once you can scale successfully, it is a very rewarding experience for small businesses. This is the last slide. Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think, Tosin, do we have any questions? I think I should stop sharing so I can see the chats.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moyo. This was extremely impactful. As said before, we will drop the slides for everyone. But first, let's take questions. So, any questions, people? Okay, so I would like Dr. Moyo to answer the question from the last session, where they said, are there any disadvantages to registering your business?
I would say no. I mean, as the question came up, I was already thinking through it. So, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but there are different business types. So, first off, you need to ensure that the kind of registration that you're going for is right for your business because it speaks to size, scale, regulatory requirements, and so many other things. To touch on the point that Lydie had mentioned about taxation, I mean, the taxes are regulatory. And I know, I suspect that one of the reasons that that person had asked the question was because of taxes. If you're doing businesses, it's expected that depending on the nature, there will be VAT, value added tax implications, charge the taxes as are required of your business, and then do your filing. However, I will tell you this. We're talking about scaling your businesses. Opportunity meets preparation. There are a number of investors, there are a number of organizations who would not touch you if you do not have a registered business. So my position would be, please, how much does it cost? I mean, do your filing, even if the business and whatever taxes you're paying are going to be in line with your revenue anyway, but you stand to lose a lot if you don't have a registered business. So I would say, no, please go ahead, and it shows seriousness, that you know what you're doing, and for you to have a registered business. And also, you don't want a situation where an opportunity comes and the opportunity windows are usually very, very slim. And then, submit your CAC registration, director profiles, and all of that. And then you're just beginning the process. You don't want that to happen to you. So my take would be to encourage every business owner here to go get registered.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. That was a really wonderful session. We had a really good time. Thank you, Dr. Moyo. Let's all say thank you to Dr. Moyo. Her wealth of experience has really, really helped us today. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So before I hand the mic back over to our anchor, so let's talk business registration, let's talk business payments, and let's talk Ercas. Ercas NG is a platform that is solely for servicing businesses. Our Ercas Pay product and our Sage Cloud products are geared to make sure that whatever business you're trying to run, whatever startup you're trying to build, we have something to offer you. Anywhere from APIs under Sage Cloud, if you're a sport betting business or a fintech and you want to integrate different APIs, either for betting or for payment transfer or for bill payments or any kind of gateway payments, Sage Cloud has you covered. Ercas Pay is tailored to businesses who want to grow and scale, not just locally, but internationally. I say this because we want to build a community where businesses thrive, where small businesses can grow and compete in a major global market and compete with the big names. And in order to do this, there are very precise steps you need to take to position yourself. Like Dr. Moyo said, there are some investors who would not touch your business, who wouldn't take you seriously if you do not have a registered business, right? If you do not have your annual tax returns filed, because they want to know what you're spending and how you're spending, right? They want to understand that if they give you the money, according to Olaide, you will not use it to buy shawarma, right? So it is important that you have a registered business and you have a way to trail your financing. Ercas lets you do that because all your inflow, you can see it on one dashboard. And then you can settle at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month into your current account. And because we have a partner like Colo Money, you can literally receive payments in your Ercas, and then settle it into your Kolo Money business account that you can use to transact for your business. This makes it a no-brainer. And we're not just going to leave you. We're not the kind of company that just says, oh, register here and then we leave you. No, we ensure that we are guiding you through. We have put in place very clear measures to guide business owners through the scaling process. These measures include our Dear Business Owner series and the Ercas podcast. Now, the Dear Business Owner series, it's like a love letter, I would say, to business owners that lets you know that, okay, this is what to do at a particular time. This is an easier way to achieve something that would probably take you longer. Instead of hiring an agency as a small business, these are easier ways to get through your social media management or your online presence, right? We have set up a resource center to help you to get templates free of charge that you'll probably be paying a boatload of money for, or be paying someone a lot of money to do for you. And as a small business owner, you probably do not have the resources. You probably do not have the resources to pay someone to handle social media marketing, and then pay somebody else to handle your legal fees, and then pay somebody else. So we have made these things easy for you. We have given you templates that should help you, right? So that even when you are outsourcing, you are not, so that even when you're outsourcing, you're not spending so much on outsourcing, you're not outsourcing everything, right? Our Ercas podcast is your one-stop resource where you have people who have done this business thing. They're not just saying it, they're not just influencers. People who have built businesses from scratch, built businesses from nothing, not just because, oh, they got some funding, but they have done the work and they have succeeded at the work. And they are coming to come and tell you that this is how to do it. These are the loopholes that you will face. This is how to scale those loopholes, which is why you should ensure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you will get informed the moment this podcast hits, right? So we are trying to ensure that small businesses grow, and not just grow, but they scale on a global level. Before we go, I'm going to be dropping the link to our business owner WhatsApp community. I encourage everyone to join the community. We would also be dropping resources on the community. We'll drop the slides on the community, and things like that. Now, let's go to the part that a lot of people have been waiting for. The business registration. We are trying to ensure that we are very transparent. So there is no issue of, oh, I did so well, but I wasn't picked, I wasn't selected. And in order to do that, we want to make sure that our selection process is fair. So I'm dropping a link now for us to, if you do not, because I know that a lot of people registered for the webinar because they wanted the information, not necessarily because they have not registered their businesses. If you do not have a business name registered, please use this link, fill out the application form. Now, the selection process is going to be this way. We will go through the application forms and filter through business profiles that stand out. We will take all those profiles and then we're going to put them into a random generator software. And that software will pick out the 50 random businesses. It will pick it out at random so that it is fair and there is no human being behind the wheel manipulating the wheel, right? So please make sure you fill this form. Please make sure your business profile is detailed but short so that we can read through it. We want it to be detailed, short, please. And then let us know what value you're bringing to the community as well. So yes, thank you all so much. I will hand over to the anchor. My name again is Olabisi Fagoyimbo, and it was nice to have you.
Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. This is not goodbye actually. Once again, this is going to be a regular thing for us. As a company, we're going to have sessions like this from time to time. I'm sure you can, if you're not beefing, you would agree that it's been worth the time for each one of our guests. We apologize that we overshot our time, but you as well would agree that it was worth it. We can assure you that for each session of webinars we're going to have like this, it is going to be, I mean, it's going to worth your time. It will be worth it. We're going to bring people who are resourceful, who have the depth, to address some of the questions and some of the concerns you have as a business owner. Just very quickly, because BC promised you that we're going to attend to some of the questions people asked Laide Okioma after during our session. I'm going to very quickly run through some of those questions, and I can see Laide is still online, and I hope she can give answers. Thank you so much for staying this long. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Very quickly, let me read some of those questions, and hopefully we can get done with this in about 10 minutes. This question says, I sell bags online, so I can say I am into fashion, but I always feel it is not tangible to get grants and co. Please, is this true? That's basically what the person is asking.
No, that's not true. Can you hear me? It's not true. There's someone I know, Glam's Concepts. In fact, I always tell that lady that what soap do you use to bathe? She's always winning grants. And I believe that what Ercas is doing for businesses, I believe you can learn a thing or two, because there is a way to write grants. There is a way to present your business that will attract investors. I've been in some kind of grant program. It's amazing the kind of businesses people do. So I think it is your matter of presentation, not it is how you present your business. I can share her, I think it's Glam's Concept. Check out on Instagram. In fact, that girl, I always tell her, in fact, I call her Grant. She's always winning. And she makes her stuff here in Ibadan. She's always winning grants. So it's a function of your maybe presentation or knowledge gap. Thank you.
Okay. I totally agree. It's probably an issue of knowledge gap. Maybe one of the things we would consider for our next webinar is to bring resource persons on that will teach us on how we can write grants. That's left to BC if she would. If people would beg her very well, she might just consider.
BC, please, we need free money.
All right, I guess we'll take note of that. All right, the next question says, do you have any pivotal moment in your journey that fundamentally changed how you approach your business presently, ma'am?
Yes, COVID. But do we have time? Because I heard you say 10 minutes.
Okay,
Do we have time?
maybe we do. If it's not too long, you can just quickly brush on it.
Okay, COVID year was, and I started this business in 2019. COVID started effectively in Nigeria, like I think March 2020. So imagine someone just trying to find their feet, then everything happens, then the world, shuts down. And my business is 99%, importation. And I was asking myself, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to continue doing this? But again, as a business person, I said it earlier that you have to think, like you have to be restless when it comes to thinking, because the world is moving and you have to move, with it. Now, there are some products that I discontinued because COVID happened. And COVID also gave birth to some new formulations, because I had to turn all of the lemon and limes to lemonade. So if that answers your question, yes, COVID shook my business. In fact, after COVID, I was saying I'm not doing again, but I had customers still coming and still asking, and we're still here. We are still here.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I think COVID did a thing on everybody, and we are glad that one of the businesses that was able to scale through. Okay, this person says we're almost there, guys. Just about two more here. When you said you can set up an online store, please, what exactly do you mean?
Okay, setting up an online store means one, you have to research. You have to know where your customers are. Are my customers on Facebook? Are they on TikTok? Are they on Instagram? When you've done that bit of the work, you would now take your business online. Now, setting up an online store is not like setting up a physical store. What you're just doing online is one, you are creating a page, IG, Facebook, or wherever you choose to sell. Even Google My Business. Google My Business is one online tool that a lot of businesses sleep on. Like a lot of people have found me on Google. Like a lot of people have found me. The first award I received in this town, I had to ask, please, where did you find me? And the person said, oh, they found me on Google. So Google My Business is something that a lot of businesses sleep on. I won't call myself a Texas, but I leverage technology a lot. If I'm going to a new place, for instance, the first thing I want to do is once you send me your maybe I see your IG and I want to come to you. The next thing I'm doing is that I'm checking you out on Google. I'm checking out reviews on your Google page. I'm checking the maps on how to get to your store. So when you know where your customers are, you will open a page and you would sell your offerings there, whatever it is you do. Food, because if you go on Instagram now, people are selling everything on Instagram. So that is what I mean by setting up an online store. And you have to show up the way market women show up every day in our local market. That is how you have to show up. Now, you don't have to show up physically. We have scheduling tools. So you can create your content maybe for a week or 2 weeks, and you schedule. You can say, okay, I want my content to go out 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and 3 p.m. on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and it just runs like that from your business suite. So that is how you set up an online store, and make sure you always have social proof, because we are a lot dragging, we are fighting for attention for that online space. So why business is going to come to you? So that's what I mean by setting up an online store. What's it called? Open your Instagram, maybe something bags, Ajike bags and fashion. Just have your Instagram page, post your pictures there with prices, beautiful pictures, post customer reviews. If you want, you can post pictures of yourself too, behind the scene, how you make your deliveries. You can tell your customers to send you unboxing videos or whatever. So that's how you set up your online store. It's very easy, and you really don't need anything to set it up. Just open your page. The only thing you are spending money on is data and running ads, as against setting up a physical store where you pay rent, you pay boys money, you battle with IBDC and everything. So that's what it means to set up an online store.
Fantastic, fantastic. Before I take the last question for that set, I want to say a very big thank you to people who joined us on IG and on YouTube. Um, Perhaps there are people there who have one question or the other. Please, you can drop in the comment section before we end the meeting finally. Kindly drop it there. We're going to pick those questions and read them out here. Thank you once again, Ma. And to the final question here, it says, how do I let days that sales are not good to weigh me? Okay, how do I not let days that sales are not good to weigh me down as a business owner that is just starting?
When did the person start her business? Let it weigh you down, but don't let it bury you. Let it weigh you down, but yes, it's the truth. Let it weigh you down, but don't let it bury you. Because as business, I talked about having targets, in my session. I talked about having targets in my session. As a business owner, whatever you do, physical, online store, you should have expectations of each month. You should have targets. So if you don't meet your targets, yes, as a right thinking human being, it should weigh you down, but don't let it bury you. The keynote speaker from the Colo Money event on Thursday, she actually talked about crying as a business person, because she was saying there are days we cry, right? Yes, there are days we cry, but we don't remain there. And because you are just starting, give yourself some grace. Don't compare your early days to someone's 15th year, someone's 20th year, someone's 50th year in business. Because if you're in social, if you're active on social media, you are going to see that a lot. Imagine in a month, maybe you've made maybe like 50K, and there's somebody, just go on Instagram, I see somebody saying 1,000 pieces of bags that we just brought in, we've sold everything, it's sold out. Of course it may make you feel somehow, but just keep moving. It will weigh you down, like I said, but don't let it bury you. The fact that it weighs you down means you have expectations and you have emotions, but don't remain there. If crying makes you feel good, cry, but don't dwell on it. Don't expend your energies. You know how people just have a bad moment and they stay there, they throw a pity party and they just stay there. No, don't stay there. Business is not for the faint-hearted. If you want a very easy life, maybe you should try paid employment, not business. Business is going to weigh you down. And also listen to people. I'm sure you have business owners that you admire or they inspire you from afar. Listen to their story. When you listen to some of these people's stories, you will buy yourself amala. You will say, I'm doing well, I'm doing well. Because when some people tell you how they started and all of that, you will know that, oh, okay, I'm in the right company. So let it weigh you down, but don't let it bury you. When you wake up the following morning, fine tune your strategies. Okay, why am I, again, you are just starting. Then another thing you want to do is you have to be, I don't know how you show up, maybe online or physical, but if you are online, people have to know you and they have to trust you. You see, that trust there is key. All of us in Nigeria, we have trust issues. Why should I give this person my money? If I give this person my money, hope they won't give me what I ordered versus what I got. So you have to show up and you have to be a person of integrity. It should be part of your business branding, because that is how people will trust you with their money. That is how people will say, okay, she has just maybe 100 followers and she has maybe just 10 pictures on her page, but nobody has complained about her, no bad reviews, nobody has dragged her, like we say. So integrity has to be part of your branding. When people know that, okay, this person has integrity as one of our core values and she's always showing up, okay, let's try her out. We've all had our moments where, in fact, where there will be no sales, as in nothing, like, they say nothing, but we are here.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, let it weigh you down, but don't let it bury you. Thank you so much, ma. I guess, like they say, tough times don't last, but tough people
Some people
actually
do.
do. Yeah, thank you so much, ma. I mean, I want to believe this has been okay, so this is another question coming up. Guys, we might not be able to treat everything, but like already mentioned, we are here to work with you throughout the journey. We are here to make life as a business owner easier for you. Yeah, for the person asking how, if Ercas can help upgrade your business to limited liability company, join the community. We have resources for everything and anything you need. Um, we, I mean, there are things we are not doing right now, but might be a consideration. Who knows? Just join the community and send us some of these requests and questions. We'll let you know what can be done, what cannot be done right now, what would fix as time passes. You're not seeing the link. I'm going to drop it again. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Olagoke. Thank you so much. We are glad you learned a lot from this. Thank you for being a part. We also want to tell you to encourage other business owners around you to be a part of what we're doing here. Like we are saying, it is to help people become better business owners. At this point, we have to draw the curtain And sorry, I think BC has something to say. Okay. All right. Basically, like I said, join the community and whatever resources we have on ground, we're going to, send across to you. We are resending the links as well for those who missed it. Wherever you need to register, whatever you need to do, we're resending to you. Kindly take action and please join. Go on the Caspi as well, like you were told earlier. It helps you simplify your payments. Basically, you receive payments through any and every means all out there, and it helps you to receive those payments in as much as 9 currencies across the world. Right. Thank you very much once again for staying true with us 3 hours after, and so many of you are still here. That means a lot to us, and we promise that this would continue to be of value to you, even in subsequent editions of this webinar. Thank you for those who are here, for those who are on IG, for those who are on YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you especially to our speakers, Olaide Okioma and Dr. Moyosore Odeni. Thank you so much, ma'ams, for giving your all to business owners here today. We truly appreciate it. This is where we get to draw the curtain. And thank you everybody once again for joining. See you another time. Bye.
Using one payment option? That is not a wise option. Don't let payment frustration disrupt your business. With Ercas Pay, receive payment in more ways via payment links, USSD, bank transfer, debit or credit cards, and QR codes. Ercas Pay gives you the freedom to receive payments the better way. Get a business account in your business name. Collect payments in 8 currencies with over 5 checkout options, unique payment links, customized receipts, 24/7 technical support, and better with Ercas Pay. Ercas Pay. Payments, but better. Using one payment option? That is not a wise option. Don't let payment frustration disrupt your business. With Ercas Pay, receive payment in more ways via payment links, USSD, bank transfer, debit or credit cards, and QR codes. Ercas Pay gives you the freedom to receive payments the better way. Get a business account in your business name. Collect payments in 8 currencies with over 5 checkout options, unique payment links, customized receipts, 24/7 technical support, and better with Ercas Pay. Ercas Pay. Payments, but better.